Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of today's special minis. I'm back to show you the big reveal or whatever of the junk journal that I've created. This is my first official junk journal. I used inspiration from 3 separate YouTube creators, and I'll show you. These are the 2 signatures, and then I'll show you me like sort of putting it up. I'm going to splice in at the end different phases of creating the second signature and the cover, because I made this already and I wasn't thinking about filming, or else I would have shown you the process. But again, the more you add to the videos, the longer they get. So I wanted to make it a little less long. So this first signature was inspired first by Gayle Agostinelli, who did a tutorial on a file folder journal, and in her video and description she said she got the idea from a young lady named Robin Dudley Howes. So I clicked on over to her channel and I discovered another fantastic YouTube creator. So I followed Robin Dudley Howes tutorial for this. Now she used, and oh, I think I spliced in some information about the envelopes I use, so I'll refrain from saying it again. But so this is how this one looks. I put a fabric closure on the front and just tied it into 2 little bows. So it opens like this. Now, I will say, this one's being my first one does have a little, it has its issues. Um, the doily paper and stuff is very fragile, so I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to, the little loops and things kind of tear. And then this edge kept bending for some reason, so I'll just figure that out. But this is how this one looks. This is based on mostly on her style, although I think hers may have more envelopes than mine. So I put a little notebook there. This, and now mine doesn't have a whole bunch of pockets, because I think, people don't, if you are giving a journal to somebody who's not really a junk journaler or whatever, they don't know what to do with all these pockets. They're probably like, what is this stuff? So I didn't put a ton of pockets in, but I did put a few, and I did my own, I think I told you guys, my own little artwork. So this opens like this, like this, like this. I drew this, and I'm telling you this, I'm going to be brief, because I'm not sure if I told you this already, if I did a little snippet of this before, so I'll just be brief. I drew this, colored it with my Prismacolor color pencils, outlined it with a felt marker, signed it. This one I did on the 14th of September. Oh, this one I did on the 22nd of September. So that opens like that. Then you have this. I saw somebody have this in a video before, that I happened to see, a rosette type stopper. So I used that. Put a notebook here. Got a receipt pocket here. And then these are, people can just hold stuff in there. Not that many pockets. Put a credit card holder here, and they could put 3 credit cards. Then I did a little pencil drawing of Billie Holiday, and did her name in gold lettering, and then I fussy cut that out myself. So just thought having the lady in there was a nice little touch. It gives you something visual. That's a pocket. Um, Wait, yeah, that's how that goes, I think. Yeah. Okay. Then you open it up, and then you've got the junk journal pages now. I just put random pages in that people can decorate any way they like. Some of them have pockets where you can store little keepsakes and trinkets in, and you can decorate them. If you got a baby, you can put a lock of hair and put, John John's first birthday or haircut or whatever. Anything you want. My sister was asking me, what is the point of having like these random papers in a journal? And I said, it's just something fun. It's like artwork on a page, and then some people are intimidated by a blank white piece of paper or a piece of white lined paper. And if you have these little colorful backgrounds, it's almost like you have art already in your book, and you can write around these edges. You can scribble, you can doodle. It kind of just like breaks the fear of putting something down on a page. And even with these, I said, you could put somebody's obituary or something right here, turn it over. You can put, Pop-Pop died from COVID this month, and put any newspaper clippings or hospital bans or anything related to him or it or whatever. And you have little keepsakes. And then some people need more room to write, so here's more writing paper. Some people want to draw, want to doodle. You can do that with that. You might want to jot down a quick note. And all of this stuff, like, to me, when you use these kind of papers, it's almost like you are putting in your journal slices of daily life. This magazine, 5 years from now, you won't see this anymore. Like, this is a piece of history for this moment in time. So that's why you put the newspaper articles in and things like that. So it's a good way to get over your fear of writing, but also a way to just hold on to a piece of today in a unique way. So it doesn't have to be, the paper doesn't have to be like, it's just a simple, lighthearted thing to remind you of today. And I put a little simple closure on it like that. So, and that's the back. This journal, this signature was inspired by Genevieve Designs. And hold on, let me stop my camera. I'll be right back. Okay, so this one was inspired by Genevieve Designs, her Basically Amazing album, The Pretty Mosaic. And what I did was, she likes to use something she calls fins. So actually, and I think I talked about this in the clip that I'll show this on, so I won't talk about it too much. I created the fin separately and merged all the pages. Then I glued the fin onto and both of these are made with manila file folder bases. After I did the fin, I glued it on here onto the manila folder base. So this is pretty simple. Again, she uses photo mats to let people know where and what size pictures to put in, so I just did that too. The idea would be the person would print out their own pictures. So because my book is much smaller than hers, my photo sizes are different than hers, but I figure if people are printing their pictures, they can print them whatever size they want. So these are just like the little Instax photos, the inside of the frame. You can cut that out and put a little picture right here. You can put your family name or whatever there. I just put a couple of little tags in here. With the tags, of course, if you don't know anything about junk journals, you can put a picture on this side, and then on the back side it's blank, so you can write something about the picture you put in. I'll take these out. So this is for this one I tried, and now I try to keep all my journals simple for both signatures. For both of them, I pulled out like about 5 or 6 sheets of paper, and then just tried to use all of that. And if I needed like another pop of color because it seemed too repetitive, then I would just grab another sheet for accent. But I think if you just grab like 6 sheets of paper, you can pretty much do whatever. So this opens. And tie it first. This one has a different closure, so it ties in the front. So I like the way like I said, she gives you an idea of what size pictures you can put in. So I put some picture mats like her. I just used copy paper for mine. I'm not trying to get too fancy with it. Did the little belly band and the little flower stopper, so it keeps the pictures from falling out of the book. And then, for my understanding, what I think, people will just print the pictures out and just put them in there. They don't have to put them on heavy cardstock or paper stack, weight paper. Just put them in there. It's just for you. You don't have to be fancy with it. Here's another area where you can put a photo. And then my sizes are 3x4 and 2.5x3 because my book is small. She's got a book where you could put 5 by 7 pictures in. That's like literally almost the size of this whole book. This is 5 by 8, so it's just a tad smaller. So that wouldn't work. That would be like the size of the whole book. So that lets you know how big her book is. So I put some different sizes, and you flip that up, and you flip that up, and this gives you an idea of how you can lay out pictures on this page. And ideally, you know, of course, people will take this off and put their pictures on, but this is just there to give them an idea. Here's a little envelope thing where you can put extra pictures that you might want to change, or, you know, if you print them out on a piece of paper, you can just tape another picture on top of the other one. Don't even have to take the other ones out. So, but you can keep extras here in case you want to rotate pictures or be able to change them out over time. Here is a 3 by 5 photo. You can put another 3 by 5 on that side, and then here is 2 belly bands, one back here, and back here I made it big enough for you to put a 4 by 7 photo. So you could put, that's about as big as you're going to get. That's the biggest size you can get. And you can put some 4 by 6s up here, and that's just a store, so you can just keep pictures that you want. You can just put a few in there. Then here you have on this page, you got a couple of tags inside of a slot pocket. You could put some journaling here or some pictures here if you'd like. Here you could put some pictures, 3 by 5, and then in stacks, and then this opens up, this opens up, this flap opens, and this flap opens. And then you have a place where you can just put more photos, 2 by 4, 3 by 5, 4 by 6, and you can just have them sitting in there, and then these 2 flaps keep them in place. Here there's a nice little pocket on the side, and I fussy cut a little pocket, a decorative edge, so this one can hold up to 3 by 6 photos. And yeah, that's all there is. And so then this is the journal. So I put a lot more paper in this one because I figured if you're putting your family photos and stuff in there, you might have a lot more stuff you want to say. So there's more paper, more places to write. There's pockets and everything, and less. There's no small different sizes. It's just pure thoughts. You can stick more pictures on a page and write something however you want to do it. And then there's 2 pockets back here. There's a pocket here, another decorative edge pocket, and there's a pocket here, so you can add more photos or whatever you want. And the back is like that. It's a little chunky, but that's okay. You know, if you don't mind having like gator mouth signatures, that's fine. So here you go. Those are the 2 signatures that are going into my cover design. I'll be right back with that. Here's the design. I coffee dyed paper and just taped it on the inside. And I put 2 little elastic things, because here's my thinking. You can, sometimes you don't want to take this big giant journal around with you. So my thought was, you know, you can just take 1 signature at a time. And it's much easier to throw this little 5 by 8 into your purse than to lug around a big giant 3-inch, you know, binder with 6, you know, 3-pound signatures. So I probably showed you this before. I got this elastic from the dollar store. That's what I used. And you want to stretch it tight, but not super duper tight. You want the book to be able to get in in there. So you just put those back in, and then I'm going to put this in the book. Now this is my, like I said, my first time really making one of these, and you know, it's not perfect, and I'm okay with that. So the more I make, the better at them I'll get. So you just slide that in, and whenever you want to take it out, you just slide it out. If you want to keep it nice and neat, you just put it in, and then you tie the journal closed, and that keeps everything nice and tidy and neat. Same thing with this one. You just find the center page, and lift up the elastic, slide it in. It does take a little maneuvering. Once you get it in, you just put this on, and that keeps the journal closed. So both of the signatures are closed inside the book, so none of the pictures will fall out. So that's the cover. And then I just made another little elastic tie for now, because I'm not sure how I will cover it. And then that's the cover. This I drew. I think I showed you some clips of how I drew this. And so you can see how I changed her features. So this one has fuller nose, fuller lips, little bit slightly different eyes, and she's rocking some box braids. So a little straight bang and some braids. So, and then I put this little dream charm on there and just edged it with some iridescent nail tape. And then I decided to camouflage the brads on the back, just very simply, nothing too dramatic. I just put a flower. It's not like it's you know, they're still under there. This just covers them up with a little bit. So I might put something on the spine, but it doesn't really need it. You know, maybe the person who gets it can put something on the spine. But there you go. This is my very first true junk journal. I had a lot of fun doing it. It's got a lot of actual artwork from me. This one I just did today. It says 9/24/2020. So I just did that one today, and it was very fun. So I think I did a good job with the glow technique using colored pencils. It translates to me. I don't know if you can really tell on this video, but this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, subscribe, comment, rate, share, and let me know what you think. And if you want to make one too, that would be awesome to let me see how you do yours. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of the evening. Bye. Okay, hey everybody. I just wanted to come and show you quickly the supplies I used to make the album inspired by Robin Dudley Howes. Unfortunately, I wasn't thinking about filming that one, or I could have filmed small portions of it along the way. So, but in essence, you can look at her video for the full tutorial. I just used a manila folder as the base, folded it, but it was way too big for the size that I am using, so I cut it down to 5 by 8. And you can get these from the dollar store. They come in 10s, but I mean, if you can get a huge box, just invest in the box. But if you just have $1 or whatever, just get the pack of 10. So I wanted to do a small album. For the envelopes, I did not have any vintage beautiful envelopes the way she had for her journal. So I just followed her pattern, but used regular, just like return envelopes that you get when you have to pay a bill. So I had a whole bunch of those, and then basically for this design I would just cut off an edge, glue it down if I needed a pocket. I have different sizes, so these don't always match up, but I would just, you know, glue that down, maybe cut a little let's see, like I'll just cut a little tail on it and glue it down. For this, I would do the same thing, but I would open this up like this and leave enough to fold over to make a flap. So, actually, yeah, this one is an envelope, but I covered it with cardstock. For this one, I just used basically like a whole envelope and then folded it over kind of like this one to give me a glue tab to glue it on. And so that's the same thing I did for all of these. These I might have glued like that and then put like another envelope, you know, on top like that. So I just followed her tutorial on how she glued hers together. She did some kind of thing where she glued all the flaps together. So that's what I did. I stacked them up the way I wanted them. Just to give you an example. Cut them to the size that I wanted for my album, which is 8 inches. So I would have cut that extra off or whatever. And then I glued them all towards the back the way she did hers, like that. And then I glued this flap to the folded manila envelope. So I just wanted to show you that. She has a better construction and or better, more detailed description. So you could just look at her video, which I'll link below. It's very clear. The only thing is these do take a little bit of time and planning how you want to, stagger your envelopes. I really like hers because she just used the vintage envelopes, but since I didn't have those, I had to use cardstock, and so then you have to kind of figure out how to match the patterns. So let me put it back in order. Now, the journal that I'm working on is going to have 2 signatures. So the second signature is inspired by Genevieve Designs. So her basically amazing A album is what I'm using as my inspiration for this. And so this is the album, one of the fins. So I just did my own version of it, and I picked out the pages from that album that I liked the most and combined them together. And so here's another manila folder. I cut it down and I glued the side shut, folded it, so you got a little pocket at the top on each side. So this is going to be my album base, and when I put the pages in, they'll go in here. And then this is the cover, and this fin will go on the cover like that and be decorated however I'm going to decorate it, and it will open up, and the fin will be attached like that. So I just thought I would show you kind of the construction first, because when I come back, the first thing you'll see is like the whole album put together. So while I was thinking of it, I thought I'd just go ahead. I could have done the video of me putting this stuff together, but I wasn't thinking about it. So if you look at her video, she did 2 fins in her album, and I just did freestanding fins. And so this is the basic construction, and I chose the little page layouts that she did that I liked and am going to use. I didn't put in a whole bunch of pockets and stuff like that. So now you see how the construction is, and now all I have to do is figure out which paper stack I'm going to use to build this album, and when that's done, I'll come back and show you the before and then splice this in after. Alright, see you guys later. Bye. Okay, I went through I have a very small stack of, I had to turn the fan on, it's getting hot back here. So I hope you guys can hear me. I have a small collection of paper stacks, probably about 50. And I never ever really use my paper stacks because I haven't been shopping for new paper stacks in a long time. So if I use a paper stack, it's a big deal to me. Um, I had a stack that I've never used before. It's from Die Cuts with a View, which is my favorite paper brand. So bought this a long time ago. And you guys know paper stacks can be expensive, so you always try to get them on sale. But this is the Garden Party stack. And to match the other journal in the light and bright colors, I just pulled out 6 sheets that I thought might work together. So I'll see how those work out. If I need additional, because you know what I discovered? You know, I really love foiled papers, but and I'm surprised that in my stack I have mostly glitters, so I must have been buying paper when glitter and stuff was big, because I see now a lot of people have the foils, and that's my thing, that's my jam, foiled paper. So I need to get out and see if I can get some super cheap foil stacks, because I like that more than glitter, even though glitter's fine. So I did find a little bit of glitter paper if I want some of that glittery foiled, I mean not glitter paper, foiled paper, in case I want some of that foiled element to supplement and accent things. And then plus I have my trusty go-to of color book papers, and these are more like copy paper weight, so which is good, so it doesn't weigh your book down, your journal down. And then maybe a couple of random papers in case I just need something different or want some different elements. See, this one has foiling on it, and I like that. It's upside down. So eventually I'll put a bead, some kind of dangle or charm or something on this. So I do want foiling to go in the second signature, and I'll come back when that is done. Okay, I am pretty much done with the album. Now, where did I put it? Here it is. I put a piece of coffee dyed paper over the top for the cover, front and back. I put little elastics on the inside, and I got these from the Dollar Tree. So that little thing right there. And I need to figure out if or how I want to cover these up. Right now I'm working on my idea for decorating a cover. It may make it on the cover, it may not, I'm just not sure. But I'm going to do it just in case that's what I want. So I saw this image online. It's by this guy named Enrique Bernal, and he draws pencil drawings, and then he goes into some program he uses online, and then adds a glow effect to it. But I really like his artwork. Unfortunately, there's no pictures really of African American women with lots of different, fun style art. So anyway, I was looking for one with a black woman with a glow, but the one he had is I didn't really like it. This one I liked a lot, so I was like, I'll just go ahead and do this one. So again, I don't have a color printer, so I printed it out in black and white. And here's a tip for people who can't draw or whatever, or who are lazy artists. If you do a grid, you have a much better chance of making a really nice drawing. So I printed out the picture that I was using as my inspiration, or this is what I'm going to be drawing myself. And then I just did a wide grid on it just to keep me in line. And so you can see here that I did the grid, and then I erase the grid as I go along. Of course, obviously, you wouldn't keep it there. So it's going to end up being this. I did change her features a little bit. I changed her nose a little bit and her mouth a little bit and just a tiny bit on her eyes because I wanted her to have more, different, a little bit of a different feature. Not that much, you probably can't tell. I don't know if you can, but I just changed it just a little bit. So, and I may change her hair too. I may do braids instead of just like straight hair. And I'm not going to do these little horn things. So, yeah. The reason why I'm doing this is I want to try to see if I can get that glow effect that he uses a digital program for. I'm going to see if I can get it with colored pencils. So, and I want to put that on the cover. So I just wanted to show you my progress along the way. I'm just using a basic number 2 pencil that you use in school. The edge is rounded to give me more of a softer blending technique. I started out sharp, but I smooth it out over time, I'm making little sort of delicate circles, so the grading is nice and smooth. So I'll finish that up, and hopefully I'll come back to you. Sorry, I keep splicing in these little things, but I keep thinking, well, they might want to see that along the way. Somebody might want to see that. So, and then I think, okay, well, let me film it. So, yeah. So just a regular pencil. And what I'm doing is actually, now where did it go? Every time you film, like, things happen. You lose stuff you just had. So lead, of course, spreads. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to have to spray it with something to try to fix the lead. Or otherwise, when the person is touching it or whatever, it will spread. You always want to protect what you're doing with a piece of paper towel or something so that you don't spread the lead all over. So I keep a piece of paper towel when I'm working on a section. And how I do it is, you want to know the tricks of the trade. Okay, so you see how I did it. Like whatever section I'm working on, because this is a simple grid, I can fold it. So if I'm working on this last panel, I'll have this like this. And look at this, and this will guide me where, I'm looking at it in relation to the square and where I draw it. So that helps me line everything up. Same thing, I could turn it whichever way I want. So that's the way I had it when I worked on this section right here. Of course, this section was blank. But so when I worked on that section right there, that was my guide. And then you can just see, the eye starts about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. So that's where you start drawing, and you go from there. So that's an easy way if you want to practice the quick and dirty way to try to draw something. If you don't have a lot of talent or you don't have a lot of skill. I have talent, but I don't have skill, in the sense that, how people start off drawing with, like, they do that whole oval thing and do this, and then, put the features. I don't do that. I need to learn how to do that, but I don't do that. I'm basically a grid person, because mostly 90% of what I do is, like, I recreate stuff that people have already drawn, so I don't need to do that. But I should. One other thing you want to make sure is to keep you some alcohol with you when you're doing pencil drawings or whatever. Any kind of drawing, I keep a spray bottle full of alcohol and just spray your hands every now and then so you get the oils and stuff off. You can use the same paper towel. It's alcohol, it'll dry quick, because as you can see, I kind of touch this, and the oils on my thumb kind of got on there. It's a good thing it wasn't in the piece that I want, or else I would be really mad. But you don't want to get it on there at all, so just keep that in mind. Drawing, it's a lot of fun. I like to put original or, like real drawn pieces on my stuff, to me that just increases the value and the uniqueness of it. You could print this out, but hey, it's much better if you're like, oh, I drew that myself. So, just a couple of tips. All right, hopefully this will be the last insert, and when I come back, it will be me revealing the whole album that I will splice at the beginning, and these parts will go at the end. So I'll see you later, guys. Bye.